On January 19th, 2025, 170 million Americans opened TikTok and saw a black screen. The app was gone. The United States government had passed a law. The Supreme Court had upheld it unanimously. ByteDance, the Chinese company that owns TikTok, had been given 9 months to sell or shut down. The deadline came. The app went dark. 14 hours later, it came back, unchanged. Same interface, same videos, same algorithm, same ownership. The most powerful government in the world had tried to kill an app. The app won. The politicians called it a national security threat. The courts agreed it could be banned. The president signed a law saying it must go. None of it worked. How? The easy answer is politics. Trump reversed course? The harder answer is the one nobody in Washington wanted to say out loud. The app didn't survive because of a deal or an executive order. It survived because it had made itself indispensable. Not because of its features, not because of its stars, because of its algorithm. That algorithm is what this video is actually about. It is the most effective attention machine ever built. And it was not built in California, not in New York, but in a 4-bedroom apartment in Beijing. Zhang Yiming grew up in Longyan, a small city in Fujian province in southeastern China. He studied software engineering at Nankai University, and after graduating, he spent a brief period at Microsoft before leaving. He worked at several startups and learned what he was actually interested in. And it wasn't software, it was information. In 2012, he founded ByteDance in a 4-bedroom apartment in Beijing with 6 other people. His theory was simple. The problem with information is not that there isn't enough of it. The problem is that finding what you actually want takes work. He believed software could eliminate that work entirely. The first product was Toutiao, in English, today's headlines. It was a news aggregator with no editorial team, no human decided what was important. The algorithm watched what each user read, how long they spent, and what they came back to, then served more of that. Each user got a completely different feed, entirely personalized. Toutiao reached 100 million users in under 2 years, becoming the fastest-growing news app in Chinese history. Zhang Yiming was 29 when he founded ByteDance. By 31, his algorithm was shaping the news diet of 100 million people every day. The news app was the training ground, the algorithm was the real product, but news was a small arena. Zhang Yiming had a bigger one in mind. In 2016, ByteDance applied the same recommendation engine to video. The app was called Douyin, available in China only. It hit 100 million users in under a year. The same fundamental logic as Toutiao, but now applied to something more visceral than news articles. Video. Faces, music, movement. The algorithm was better at predicting what people wanted to watch than people were at knowing themselves. ByteDance needed to get it outside China, which meant finding a way into the US market, the most valuable entertainment market in the world, entirely controlled by American platforms. Then an opportunity appeared. Musical.ly was a lip-sync video app with a genuine following among American teenagers. It was founded by 2 Chinese entrepreneurs, Alex Zhu and Luyu Yang, and based in Shanghai. By 2017, it had 60 million users in the US and Europe. In November 2017, ByteDance acquired Musical.ly for approximately $800 million to $1 billion. 1 year later, ByteDance merged Musical.ly into TikTok in a single overnight update. The Musical.ly app disappeared from phones across America, and in its place stood TikTok. 60 million existing US users woke up in new accounts. They hadn't chosen TikTok. They had been migrated into it. ByteDance had just acquired 60 million American users without any of them signing up. The users were there. Now the algorithm just had to do what it was built to do. Before TikTok, every major social media platform was built on the same foundation. They called it a social graph. The idea being to connect people to other people, then show them content from those connections. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, all built around who you follow. Social graphs have a problem though. To get good content, you need to already know what you want and who makes it. New users get nothing until they've done the work of building a network. The algorithm only gets smarter once you've given it a social history to work from. TikTok built something different, not a social graph, an interest graph. The interest graph doesn't ask who you follow. It watches what you do. Here is how the For You page actually works. Every new video gets shown to a small test pool, a few hundred users selected based on loose signals. The algorithm measures one thing above everything else: completion rate. Did you watch the video to the end? Not whether you liked it, not whether you commented. Did you stay? A high completion rate moves the video to a larger pool, then a larger one still. Each step is another test. Likes, shares, and comments matter, but completion rate is the master signal. It outweighs everything else combined. The reason is simple. You can fake a like, but you can't fake watching something for 30 seconds when you're bored. Because of this, a new account with 0 followers can hit 10 million views on day one. The social graph is irrelevant. Only behavior counts. The algorithm updates in real time. After every video you watch, every skip, every replay, the model adjusts. ByteDance engineers say it builds a precise map of your interests within an hour of first use. In 2020, Nathan Apodaca posted a 22-second video on TikTok. He was skateboarding, drinking Ocean Spray cranberry juice, and lip-syncing to Fleetwood Mac's Dreams. The video got 80 million views. Dreams rose 374% on streaming platforms. Ocean Spray gave him a truck full of juice, then a new pickup truck on top of that. He bought a house in cash in 24 hours from one video, from a man nobody had heard of. Silicon Valley watched all of this happen, then spent hundreds of millions trying to replicate it. However, it didn't work. Instagram launched Reels in 2020. YouTube launched Shorts in 2021. Snapchat launched Spotlight. Every one of them worked, but none of them caught TikTok. The reason is not the interface. The interface is easy to copy. The reason is the data. ByteDance's algorithm is not a set of rules. It is a model trained on billions of hours of human viewing behavior. ByteDance spent years building that dataset through Toutiao and Douyin before TikTok ever launched in the West. You cannot copy a trained model by copying the code. You need the data that shaped it, and you need years of that data. When Instagram launched Reels, ByteDance already had a 6-year head start on behavioral data. It had trained its model on Chinese audiences before a single American ever signed up. Every Toutiao reader, every Douyin viewer, all of that behavior had fed the algorithm before America arrived. The gap was not closable in one product cycle. It still isn't. By 2026, TikTok users average 95 minutes per day on the app, compared to 53 minutes on Instagram and 74 on YouTube. TikTok did not just win a feature war, it won an attention war. The prize was an entire generation's daily hours. The US government itself advertised on TikTok, federal agencies, political campaigns, the Pentagon, all running ads on an app the same government was simultaneously calling a national security threat. Then Washington decided it had to do something about it. Washington's first serious attempt came in August 2020, when President Trump signed executive orders giving ByteDance 45 days to sell or face a ban. Microsoft and Oracle both submitted bids. Oracle was selected, but the deal collapsed. Courts blocked the orders on First Amendment grounds, and the ban never happened. Biden took office and let it lapse, signing a different executive order, reviewing national security risks from foreign technology. But TikTok kept running. Then, in 2022, BuzzFeed News published audio from internal ByteDance meetings. China-based employees had accessed US user data repeatedly in ways ByteDance had publicly denied was possible. The company had told regulators the data was safe. The leaked recordings showed it wasn't. In March 2023, TikTok's CEO Shou Chu was called before Congress. Chu is Singaporean, educated at University College London and Harvard Business School. He sat for 5 hours. Senators asked him whether TikTok could access their home Wi-Fi networks, whether the app could see through their cameras, and whether the Chinese government could demand the data of any American user. Chu answered every question with corporate precision. The hearing went viral on TikTok. In April 2024, the House passed the forced sale law 352-65, and Biden signed it. ByteDance had 9 months to sell TikTok's US operations or face a permanent ban. ByteDance appealed. Every court upheld the law. In January 2025, the Supreme Court ruled unanimously. The law was constitutional and TikTok had to go. On January 19th, TikTok went dark. 14 hours later, it came back. Trump, not yet inaugurated, had posted on Truth Social that he would save it. On his first day in office, he signed an executive order granting a 90-day extension, then another. The app the Supreme Court ruled could be banned was still running. Still owned by ByteDance, still headquartered in Beijing. The ban failed, but the question it was trying to answer never went away. The ban debate was always framed as, is TikTok spying on Americans? That is the wrong question. The right question is structural. ByteDance is a Chinese company, and China's National Intelligence Law of 2017 requires all Chinese companies to cooperate with state intelligence operations. There is no legal mechanism to refuse. No ByteDance lawyer can override it. This does not mean TikTok is actively surveilling anyone right now. It means the infrastructure exists, and ByteDance could not legally refuse if asked. The Chinese version of the app, Douyin, tells you something. Douyin limits users under 14 to 40 minutes per day, and during that time, it surfaces science videos, history content, and educational material. TikTok has no equivalent restriction for American teenagers. In 2021, a CCP-linked propaganda official named Wu Shugang sat on the board of a ByteDance subsidiary. ByteDance's Chinese subsidiary held CCP oath-taking ceremonies on company grounds. None of this proves the algorithm is being used as a weapon. It proves the mechanism exists. That distinction matters. And 170 million Americans use the app without having to answer which side of it they're on. The algorithm conquered the world not because of TikTok. It conquered the world because of what TikTok proved. Build a recommendation engine good enough. One that learns faster than any human editor. One that optimizes for the one behavior people can't fake. And you don't need a social network. You don't need followers. You don't need friends. You just need attention. And the algorithm is very good at finding it. ByteDance is now valued between $480 and $550 billion. Zhang Yiming stepped back as CEO in 2021, aged 38, citing a desire to think deeply. His net worth stands at $92.8 billion. The app is still on your phone. The algorithm is still watching. The company that built it is still headquartered in Beijing, and it is still learning. If you like this video, then please subscribe to the channel. It supports us a ton. See you in the next video.